It can be easy to look past Riddled Corpse's EX, the new and improved version of Diabolical Mind's twin-stick shooter that launched for PC in 2015. It's a bit generic in the art department, and there's certainly nothing inspired about a game where you fight zombies. But to see this game for what it is, you'll have to look past that and focus on the action, because for everything this game gets wrong, it gets right the one thing that matters most. Riddled Corpse's EX's story doesn't do it any favors. It's another post-apocalyptic world where zombies and more otherworldly creatures run amok. You play as a survivor who must shoot their way through waves of the undead looking for other survivors in a way to stop the crisis. Not exactly an original tale. Other aspects are just as rote. The graphics, though clear, are generic. The characters forgettable. Enemies run-of-the-mill. The soundtrack, both new for this port and the original, are catchy and the game runs liquid smooth on the PlayStation Vita. But there's nothing outside of the challenge of a twin-stick shooter to pull people in. But trust me, what a challenge it is. The rest of the game may be bog standard, but this grindy difficulty is something else. Keeping alive in any of Riddled Corpse's 3 modes is a rage-inducing task. In the arcade mode, it's a nail-biter that recalls Robotron 2084. In survival mode, it's a humbling experience as you struggle to add seconds to your best time on the leaderboard, or in my case, going after that gold trophy. In the story mode, it's a grind that'll force you to play through these same levels again and again, but in a good way. Characters start off with weak guns, and as you clean house and grab the gold left by the ghouls, you can use it to upgrade your characters each time you start a new run. Longer runs grant more gold, so while you can start from any level you unlock in the campaign, it's often best to start fresh at the beginning for maximum reward. While the first level gets easier and easier the higher you level your teams, it still takes skill to dodge all those enemies. Unlockable characters have special talents to make the game a bit easier, but it's playing as main protagonist John where the game is at its purest. Just like Geometry Wars, you bob and weave your way through each wave of enemies until you reach the boss that turns the game from a twin stick to bullet hell. The controls are tight as they need to be, but there is some confusion about the character's hitbox. During the bullet hell boss battles, some of the gaps between projectiles can look too small for your character to fit through. Passing through some of these sections feels a bit more trial and error than it should be. With exploding cars, projectiles, and swarms of zombies, it is easy to lose track of everything that's happening. A more pronounced or uniquely designed protagonist would probably negate this issue. The PlayStation Vita version is the most basic of the 3 as it does not include local co-op, but if you value portability, this is a top-notch port. Of course, if you have a PlayStation 4 and Vita, you don't have to choose as it supports cross-buy. Riddled Corpse's EX certainly doesn't do enough to set itself apart from the myriad of other indie shooters out there. With a bit more personality or perhaps some original ideas, it'd be a no-brainer to recommend. As is, it's simply a fun and challenging twin-stick shooter that's perfect in short bursts. Quite frankly, that's good enough. But for more written reviews and original features, be sure to head on over to Destructoid.com.